Hello, everyone, and welcome to Introduction to American Government and Politics for the first 6 week semester in 2026. My name is Russell Luke, and I will be your instructor for this course. In this course, we're going to look at the foundations of the American system of government, its evolution throughout American history. We'll look at the basics of American political behavior, and finally, the institutions that comprise this system. I want to take the time today to explain to you the obligations of this course and familiarize you with the course structure. In order to do that, we first need to discuss units. This course is broken up into 6 units. These units span from Monday until Sunday night at midnight. Within each unit, you have a number of graded components that you are required to complete for each unit. So let's walk through each of those graded components in turn, and so you are aware of what is expected for you in each of those components. The first of these is the syllabus quiz. The syllabus quiz is a 10-question open note, open syllabus in this case, quiz on Canvas that basically gauges your understanding and agreement with all of the course policies. You must complete the syllabus quiz with 100% by May 31st in order to remain in this course. This is simply to ensure that you understand with and agree with all of the course policies. Feel free to contact me if you have any concerns about the content of the syllabus quiz. The syllabus quiz is worth 5 points towards your final grade. Next up are the textbook assignments. The textbook is a digital textbook integrated within Canvas. You should simply be able to click on any one of the textbook links, which should take you to the Norton page. You should then be able to enter your information and thereby have access to the textbook on day one. That is, if you did not opt out of the UAF bookstore bundle. If you did opt out of the UAF bookstore bundle, there are instructions in the syllabus for how to purchase access to the textbook for this semester. If you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. And if you have trouble accessing the textbook in general, please do contact me quickly so that you do not fall behind. Now, in the digital textbook, We the People, there are two main components that you need to be concerned about. The first of these is the reading, right? This is the ebook Illumine reading for each chapter. There are 15 chapters total in the course. Each unit you will read either 2 or 3 chapters. Along with these chapters are what are known as inquisitive assignments. This is an adaptive quiz that allows or promotes retention and understanding of the material by presenting you with questions based on your performance. You are to complete an inquisitive and a reading for each chapter. There are 15 chapters in total, therefore, there are 15 inquisitive assignments. Collectively, these are worth 30 points towards your final grade. Next up are video lectures, like this one. These video lectures, there will be one for each unit, so 6 in total. Each is worth 2 points towards your final grade. Embedded within these video lectures are opportunities for questions, where I can either gauge your understanding of the material or ask a poll to kind of get your opinions about a certain topic. The video lectures themselves, I will record these basically on areas where, in my experience, students have had difficulty with the material. Either it's complicated or counterintuitive or something like that. Looking ahead, if you wish for me to include something in a subsequent video lecture, again, feel free to contact me. As I said, each of these video lectures are worth 2 points each, for a total of 12 points towards your final grade. Next up here are discussion posts. Each unit, I will ask within the discussion post for your opinion, your attitude, your view on something relevant to that unit. You are required to make one response to the initial prompt, as well as 2 replies to your classmates' responses to that initial prompt. Each of your responses is worth 1 point towards your final grade, whereas the replies to your classmates are each worth half a point. So again, collectively 1 point towards your final grade for 12 points total. As I'll discuss towards the end of this lecture, be civil, be nice, be kind to one another. These discussion boards, the discussion posts, are not a venue for you to have a profound political discourse. It's not that deep. Next up here are reflection papers. Each unit, I will pose a question through Canvas for you to answer in the form of an essay here. These are not, shall we say, specifically content oriented. This is more asking you to apply the lessons, apply the knowledge that you have learned throughout the unit to something topical. At various points, it'll be go find a video, go find an audio recording of a Supreme Court case, something like that, and apply your understanding to it. It's very much less formal than a thesis controlled essay or something of the like, but you are still required to follow all guidelines for written assignments and otherwise good English within these assignments. This is discussed in detail in the syllabus. All of these reflection papers must be drafted in Google Docs, and you must submit the link for that Google Doc with your submission here. Each of these are worth 5 points for a total of 30 points towards your final grade. I'll have more to say about AI and citations and the like in just a moment, but let's now continue on to the last graded component of this course, that being use unit quizzes. After you have completed the rest of the graded components for each unit, you will then take a 1 hour, 40 question, multiple choice style quiz on Canvas. These quizzes are open note, they are open book. You may use whatever resources you so choose in order to complete them. However, completing 40 questions in an hour will make trying to Google or ask ChatGPT the answers to these very difficult, and you're very much unlikely to finish on time if you attempt that approach, and therefore reduce your grade accordingly. You'll note on Canvas, I have posted study guides for each of the units. As you're going through the textbook reading, as you're going through the inquisitives and the rest, you should be filling out these study guides in preparation for the unit quizzes. Additionally, should be taking detailed notes as you read through the textbook, and you should have both of these to hand when you take the unit quizzes. This is an attempt to help you retain and understand the material, not so much an opportunity for rote memorization. I don't find that tremendously useful within this context. One word of caution, though. If you attempt to, copy and paste the questions into ChatGPT and see what it says, it's very likely to disagree with the textbook and therefore disagree with the unit quizzes themselves, right? They're not always going to be the same answer. So while you are free to do that within this context, I would caution against it. You would be much better served simply spending an adequate amount of time to prepare for these unit quizzes. Each unit quiz is worth 5 points, so collectively they are worth 30 points towards your final grade. So, in summation, each unit you will read a couple textbook chapters. You will do the related inquisitive assignments for those chapters. You will complete the discussion board or discussion posts. You will draft a reflection paper, and then you will take a unit quiz. You will do that basically 6 times, and that's the course. I want to take a moment here to touch on some of the course policies that are particularly important here. The first of these is the AI policy in this course. As I mentioned for the unit quizzes, it's fine to use whatever resources that you like, though I would certainly caution against it within this context. For all written assignments, those being the discussion posts as well as the reflection papers, you are prohibited from using any AI or LLM tools in the drafting or editing of those papers. And I will add an additional note of caution here. I've specifically designed the reflection paper prompts to be things that ChatGPT is going to be really bad at. ChatGPT is not going to be able to watch a YouTube video and pull out the specific things that I want you to in that. If you leave it to the last moment, if you try and use ChatGPT to draft those papers, not only are you going to have a presumably suboptimal submission, but if you are found to have used AI in this manner, you will receive a 0 for the first violation. And if you use it multiple times and you are found to have used AI in this fashion, you will fail the course. The AI policy for this course is detailed in the syllabus, so be sure to read that over thoroughly. Also, on the reflection papers, any thoughts that are not your own must be cited in a standard format. I have posted the APSA style guide on Canvas if you wish to use that. APA and MLA citation style are also acceptable. I mentioned previously that all written submissions must be written in Google Docs, but I will add an additional note of caution here. Spelling counts, grammar counts, style counts. All of these things matter in your written submissions. I will be grading you on the quality of your writing, not just the content of what you are writing. In terms of the discussion posts, the syllabus has a civil discourse policy. Um, Basically, as I mentioned previously, this is not the venue for you to have a profound political disagreement or you to own the other side. Fundamentally, recognize that there is another human being on the other side of that computer screen. You can disagree with their opinions. You can view their opinions as disagreeable in many ways or suboptimal, however you want to frame that. But you must express that in a civil manner. You cannot be demeaning. You cannot be confrontational. You cannot use derogatory language in any way, shape, or form. Fundamentally, when in doubt, choose to be kind. It's a good rule generally, but it's specifically a required rule in this case. Moving on to the late assignment policy. 6 week courses are difficult for many reasons, but one of them is that it's very easy to fall behind. If for whatever reason you fail to write your first reflection paper, that just adds to your workload in the second unit. Therefore, I will not accept any late assignments nor opportunities for makeups for the unit quizzes, for example, without approved and documented university approved reasons for that tardiness, for that failure to submit on time. This may seem draconian, but I assure you this is to make sure that you are staying on task. No individual assignment, no individual component in this course is going to prove fatal for your final grade if you fail to turn it in. If you fail to turn in a reflection paper, okay, that's unfortunate, but be sure to move on to the next unit so that you do not get unduly behind in your coursework. Finally, here, contact information. Obviously, this is not a face to face class. Many of you are not going to be on the Fairbanks campus. Feel free to stop by if you so choose. I'll be here in my office most days during the semester. But the best way to contact me is through email, and specifically through your University of Alaska email. FERPA prevents me from disclosing any information or discussing any information about your grade if it doesn't come from a University of Alaska email. And otherwise, the phone calls or anything like that, a suboptimal way to get in touch with me. I will also be contacting you directly through your University of Alaska email, or if I need to make an announcement to the course as a whole, I will do that on Canvas. Finally, if you want to discuss something with me, if you have a more detailed question than just an email, I will not be holding specified office hours this semester. Instead, I have a link in Canvas and also appearing on screen now for a Calendly link that will allow you to schedule virtual office hours time with me. Again, I will be on campus most days during the semester, so my schedule is largely flexible. If you want to discuss something with me, if you have a concern about the course, please feel free to schedule one of these office hours times so that you and I can connect directly. So that's all I have for you today. That's the course. Please do reach out via email or schedule an office hours appointment if you have any questions, if you have any concerns. Otherwise, I hope we have a great 6 week semester. We'll be seeing a little bit of one another for the next 6 weeks, so I'll leave it there today. What you should first do is review the syllabus carefully and then take the syllabus quiz, and then get started on the rest of the graded components for Unit 1. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.